What is up, Lycans? We've seen a huge influx lately of new players, so I thought I'd put out some really simple guides to try and help you guys find your feet in the world of PvP. We'll start in this first episode with improving our naval combat, as honestly it's the most important skill you can have. Boarding is useful, but you can win without ever leaving your ship. So tip 1 is some really simple ways to aim your cannons and to know where to aim. So there is a really simple way to remember how to aim your cannons. If you're broad on broad with a ship and you're moving at similar speeds, aim directly at it. If you're circling or passing each other, or circling a stationary ship, aim your cannon in front of their ship. How far in front depends on how fast you're moving, versus how fast they're moving, which only comes with a bit of practice. If you're passing a ship in front of them or behind them, aim your cannons to either side of the ship depending on which side you're approaching from. Again, how far you aim will depend on how fast your ship is moving. My biggest recommendation is to practice on Flameheart's fleet of ghost ships. This event gives you plenty of time to practice all kinds of different positions without too much fear of getting hit yourself. So just in summary, if you're moving broad on broad with each other at the same sort of speed, aim directly at them. If you're circling, aim in front of them. And then if you're passing in front or behind, aim slightly to the side. There is a rare occasion where you're moving faster than they are, in which case aim your cannon behind their ship. Tip 2 is selecting cannonballs from the cannonball wheel. So you can, when you're on the cannon, you can bring up all your different cannonballs that you're holding. A really good tip is you can change the cannonball while the cannon is being loaded. So for example, you shoot a cannon and start instantly reloading. While the little action wheel goes round for reloading the cannon, you can bring up the menu and select a different type of ammo, and you'll notice at the end of the reload circle that the cannon you changed to is now loaded in the cannon. Tip 3 is something to do with repairing the wheel. So damaging the wheel during combat is hugely underrated. You can cause a lot of problems for an enemy ship by destroying their wheel. I've mentioned in previous videos how important positioning is during naval combat, so taking away the enemy's ability to steer properly is absolutely huge. So on the flip side of that, we want to make sure that our wheel is repaired as fast as possible if it does get damaged. What you can do is repair the wheel while it's still being used by another crewmate, so you can simply stand behind them, hammer in some wood while they're steering, and they will gain more control of the ship as each piece of wood goes in. Number 4 is not to be afraid to dip and reset if you need to. I'd never promote running from a fight on this game. It's what makes it fun for me personally, but saying that, disengaging to repair your ship or to gain a better position is absolutely fine to do. Try to get used to what your ship and your crew can handle so you know when to turn away from an engagement. And there's 2 pretty simple ways I disengage from a fight, and I'll share them with you now. If you're broad on broad with a ship, just simply turn away from them. So this is 2 ships traveling at a similar speed with each other. If you turn away, you'll become a smaller target for them, and they're going to have to steer to keep the engagement, which eventually they're going to lose their cannon angle. Secondly, if you're circling each other and firing cannons, then just straighten your wheel out of the turn that you're in, and you'll slowly move away from them, and they'll only have a few more seconds where they can hit more cannon shots. It gives you a little bit of time to repair. One thing to look out for is just to be prepared for boarders whenever you do need to reset. The ideal time to board is when the enemy ship is under a lot of pressure, and it's likely your enemy knows that. And lastly, this one's slightly more complicated, but we want to make the enemy react to your movements, not you reacting to their movements as much as possible. So, in my opinion, ship positioning during combat is absolutely the most important thing. Once you've been fighting for a while, you can tell a good crew by how they maneuver and position their ship during a fight. And what I try and do is treat naval combat in this game a little bit like a game of chess by trying to think a few steps ahead at a time. And I'll try and break it down now and explain what I mean a little bit more clearly. So say you're approaching a ship, they know you're coming, they're sailing straight towards you. A likely move for them is to turn to get cannon shots. A pretty standard reaction to that I see is to turn with them into a broad on broad fight, which is fine, but you're relying a little bit on luck. If they get a lucky shot, hit you on the cannons, you're dead. What my preferred method is to turn the opposite direction to the way they're turning, just very briefly, and hopefully force them to have to reposition. Once they do that, you can quickly reverse your turn back into them, and you'll then get the first cannon shots of the engagement, which is exactly what we want. Perfect angle for a naval battle is where you're able to hit them where they can't hit you. Remember, there's no rush in a fight on the seas, and this is even more so if you're solo. And that's it for today, guys. My next guide, I'm going to do some simple tips to help boarding during a fight. Remember to hit that sub button. We're getting really close to 1,000 subs now, which is absolutely huge. The support lately has been absolutely great. Leave a comment below if you have any more tips you want to share with the new players of the game, or even some of the older players of the game. For now, guys, take it easy, and we'll see you on the seas.